Katie's speech takes 361.
Meet Tristan, a 16-year-old junior boy from Houston High School. Tristan is involved in choir, and he likes to do a lot of things as far as deer hunting, riding his four-wheeler, and he also liked to do body work with his dad on vehicles. Tristan, he had an amazing sense of humor, and he was just one of those people that you really wanted to be around. He was just one, he had a magnetic personality. But on November 20th of this year, Tristan's life was cut short. Tristan was in a car accident in which he was killed, despite the local hospital's effort to save him. They weren't able to. Tristan wasn't wearing his seatbelt. Tristan leaves behind his mom, his dad, and his two sisters. Did you know that car wrecks in which occupants aren't wearing their seatbelts is one of the leading causes of death in the United States of America? It takes 5 seconds to buckle up. It takes 5 seconds to buckle up so that you're safe in case you get into a car accident. Despite efforts by Save Mo Lives and the Department of Transportation to make people aware of seatbelt safety, many people will not wear their seatbelts. They still choose not to. Actually, 1 in 7 people will not buckle up whenever they're riding in a vehicle. So out of the 7 of you, 1 of you wouldn't buckle up. Think about that one person that didn't buckle up, and imagine that they went home and they got in a car wreck. Think about if you lost them simply because they didn't take 5 seconds to put on your seatbelt. That's all it takes is 5 seconds to put on your seatbelt. In 2012 alone, over 800 fatalities in the state of Missouri were due to car accidents in which occupants weren't wearing their seatbelts. Nationally, that boils down to about 102 lives lost every day, or 1 life lost every 12 minutes because of one decision not to put on a seatbelt. But there's something that we can do. We can help stop this epidemic of unbelted drivers and occupants who are being killed in car crashes. And I think that the 3 main things that we need to do are that we need more awareness, that seatbelt laws need to be enforced much stricter than they already are, and we need to raise the fines on seatbelt for not wearing your seatbelt. I think that fines need to be raised so that whenever somebody gets pulled over and they aren't wearing their seatbelt, they have to pay $75, $100 fine, something that's going to make a difference. In 2010 alone, there was a decrease in fatalities, almost to an all-time low, of people not being killed in car wrecks simply because of people like Save Mo Lives and the Department of Transportation making them aware of the dangers of not wearing your seatbelt. As far as the laws go, there are 2 different types of laws. There's primary seatbelt laws, and secondary seatbelt laws. Primary seatbelt laws are when a police officer can pull you over simply for you not wearing your seatbelt. If they just see you driving down the road and you aren't wearing your seatbelt, they can pull you over just for that. Whereas secondary laws are where a police officer has to have another reason, like you ran a stoplight or you committed some other type of traffic violation, for him to pull you over and to bust you for not wearing your seatbelt. And in Missouri, we are a secondary seatbelt law state. So we cannot be pulled over simply for not wearing our seatbelts. And I think that that should be fixed so that we can teach people that they have to wear their seatbelts or there could be dire consequences. And the last thing is to raise fines. We need to raise these fines so that they make an impact. People in a survey about why or why not they did not wear their seatbelt, they themselves said that they would be more motivated to wear their seatbelts if they were to be fined a larger amount. schools, they implement programs and they try and get students to be aware of the dangers of not wearing your seatbelts. I remember whenever I was in high school, I remember 2 times we had a lady come in and she gave us a presentation. She showed the pictures of the car wrecks and she showed students just somewhat of the reality of what can happen, told stories about injuries that people had sustained because they weren't wearing their seatbelts and were thrown out of their vehicles. But if your school is anything like mine, or I would say any public school, there were kids that talked through the whole thing. They didn't pay attention, they didn't care, it didn't apply to them. They're superhumans that can't get hurt, they're immune to a car accident. They think that, oh, I'm just driving across the road, I'm not going to get in a car wreck, I'm just going down the road, I can't, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. You can be your own advocate to your school. Talk to your school board. We need to get these programs implemented earlier, and we need to have them every year for students. We need to start in elementary school. Get the kids, get it in their brains that they need to wear their seatbelts, no matter how far they're going, no matter who they're riding with, it doesn't matter. We need to have them started there and then keep building and building and building through their high school years so that hopefully they will make the right decision in choosing to wear their seatbelts. And if you're a parent, obviously, teach your kids. You are the best example that they will have, and if you wear your seatbelt, then you're being the best example that you could be for them to wear theirs. You know, whenever I started this speech, I had already decided that I was going to do one about wearing seatbelts because there's nothing that irritates me more than seeing, kids I've gone to school with that don't wear their seatbelts because they think they're invincible. But I never would have guessed that this would have hit so close to home. Whenever Tristan had a car wreck, it was devastating to the whole school, to everyone that knew him, and Tristan and I, we were good friends. We were in choir, and though I may not have known his favorite color or known what he liked to do in his spare time, I felt like we were part of a family in choir, and I felt very close to him. And ever since his death, this has just made me more passionate about getting people to wear their seatbelts. There's no reason you shouldn't wear your seatbelt. It's sad to think that maybe, just maybe, if Tristan could have put on his seatbelt that day, that maybe he'd still be alive today. It takes 5 seconds of your time. And for people that tell me that wearing your seatbelt's uncomfortable, let me ask you this. Would a coffin be more comfortable?